hand, I'm going to place you under oath. Ma'am, do you swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, Lord. Just make sure you speak up loudly and clearly for me.
Okay.
Your name is Donna Drake, correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Drake, are you a United States citizen who reads, writes, and speaks English?
Yes.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any type of mental condition?
No.
In this case, you are represented by your attorney, Mr. Brian Schmidt. Are you pleased with Mr. Schmidt and his representation?
Yes.
You feel like you've had enough time to talk with him about your case, that you have all of your legal questions answered, and that you understand everything that you've read and signed in your plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Schmidt, you believe Ms. Drake to be competent today?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've explained to her rights pertaining to this case and also the advantages and disadvantages of a deferred adjudication plea?
I have, Your Honor.
You believe that she understands all of her rights, her waivers thereof, and also that she is entering into this agreement intentionally, knowingly, and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Drake, you are charged by indictment with a second-degree felony offense of theft of property greater than $30,000, less than $150,000 from a not-for-profit. A second-degree felony offense does carry a range of punishment of not less than 2 years or more than 20 years confinement if you were to be convicted and sentenced, and also a possible fine not to exceed $10,000. It's important that you understand the inherent risk. I'm sure Mr. Schmidt, as he's already indicated, has already talked to me about the risk of a deferred adjudication. The court finds that the plea agreement in this case is that the state's recommending upon your plea of guilt that the court consider the evidence, not convict you, rather than defer a finding of guilt, place you on 5 years of community supervision, order restitution in the amount of $137,386.35 be paid today at the time of the plea, and that you have agreed to not apply for non-disclosure of your criminal records. In addition, you would have court costs and reimbursements. The court wants to admonish you that should the court accept this plea agreement and place you on deferred community supervision, it's important that you understand that a violation of any of the terms and conditions of community supervision that you've read over and signed today, a violation could result in the state filing a motion to adjudicate your guilt, which means to convict you. Upon hearing, if the state provides evidence or it proves that you have violated any of the terms and conditions of your community supervision, the court could conduct as a hearing. The court could do a multitude of things, including adjudicating your guilt, convicting you of that offense, revoking your community supervision, and assessing your punishment anywhere from the minimum 2 years all the way to the maximum 20 years confinement in prison. You understand those risks?
Yes, sir.
Understanding the plea agreement, understanding the risk, understanding the range of punishment, you still wish to go forward?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Drake, and at this time, I'm going to ask you, how do you plead to theft of property greater than $30,000 or less than $150,000 from a nonprofit?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty to that crime because you are guilty of committing that crime?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened, forced, or pressured you to plead guilty to them?
No, sir.
All right, the court does accept Ms. Drake's plea of guilt at this time. Mr. Schmidt, is there any objection to the stipulation of evidence in this case?
No objection, Your Honor.
Stipulation of evidence is admitted. The court takes judicial notice of Ms. Drake's judicial confession. Is there anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court's going to review the stipulation of evidence. All right, upon reviewing the stipulation of evidence, the court does find sufficient evidence to convict Ms. Drake of this offense. The court will follow the plea agreements as recommended by the state of Texas. The court hereby defers a finding of guilt on the charge of theft of property, $30,000 to $150,000 from a nonprofit, a second-degree felony. The court places Ms. Drake on 5 years community supervision. As a condition of that community supervision, orders her to pay today $137,386.35. And the court finds as a special condition to the community supervision, Ms. Drake has agreed not to apply for non-disclosure of her criminal records. The court assesses court costs in the amount of $290 and reimbursement fees of $85. Ms. Curry, is there anything else from the state?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe Mr. Smith's gonna make that payment now on the record so that we know it's made, and also, Judge, there is victim allocution on behalf of the.
Okay, if you'll go ahead and bring the allocution, which is on, we'll go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. All right, the court's going to direct the court reporter not to record the testimony of the victim allocution. Go ahead, sir. With your slab, and you can move that seat around if you so.